Ekotürk'ten merhabalar. Saat Farkı'na hoş geldiniz. Evet, bu hafta Saat Farkı'nda bisiklet üzerindeyiz. Yanımda Hollanda'nın İstanbul Başkonsolosu sevgili Bart van Bolhuis var. Bisiklet üzerine bir sohbet yapacağız. Bugün böyle bisikletlerimizi aldık. Rumelihisar'ındayız. Bart hoş geldin.
Hoş bulduk.
Nasılsın?
İyiyim, çok iyiyim, çok iyiyim. Her zaman bisikletle ben çok mutluyum.
Ben de çok mutluyum bisikletle. Çok seviyorum bisikletlerimizi.
Evet.
Mine is also nice, right?
Turuncu
Turuncu renk.
çok güzel.
Yes, Dutch color. Hollanda rengi.
Evet.
Okay, well, Bart, unfortunately you're about to leave. These
That
are
is
your
right,
final days in Istanbul. So you're going to DC, Washington DC,
Yeah,
right?
going to the other side of the Atlantic. Yeah.
So 4 years.
4 years in
finished
Washington DC.
Istanbul.
Yeah.
In Istanbul, it's been 4 years,
Also
right?
4 years. Postings are for consul generals and ambassadors are 4 years.
Yeah, so time flies, huh?
Yeah. I really well. It's a nice perspective to go to Washington D.C., but I'm not ready for leaving the city. So my strategy is not thinking about it. Just deny the fact that in a few days I will be away.
Yeah. So how do you feel?
This is one of the most beautiful spots, obviously, in Istanbul. I was posted in San Francisco before, we were talking about the Golden Gate, but here the history, the diversity of the city. It's just I felt I felt at home from the first minute. This is really Europe for me.
Yeah.
Not talking about the other side. No. But Istanbul is. Istanbul
And we have
is
Asia on the other side. We have everything, pretty much everything, really, in this city.
Yeah. Last week I had my shortest visit to Asia ever in only 5 minutes because we took the wrong road. No, but Istanbul, it's became part of my life, and sure I will be back. Sure
You will be back, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you had the chance, you will definitely stay longer, I think.
Oh yeah,
like maybe 50 years or something.
No, I asked for it,
Until
of course.
the end of your career, maybe.
No, but I said to my colleagues in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, let me stay another year. Also because of COVID and the networks, good relationships that we have with IBB and others, and Tusiat and everything. But it's what it is. The postings for consul generals are 4 years.
Yeah.
And you have to be prepared. But I'm just lucky that and an honor in representing my country in this beautiful city. And and no, don't make me too sentimental about.
We will start crying. We will start crying.
We just passed by the site of one of the sites of the shooting of Karapara Ask.
Okay. So you're watching that?
Yeah, I'm halfway in it, and it's a very long
it was
story.
shot in one of those buildings, I think.
Yeah. The family was living there.
Yeah.
And so I will continue to watch in Washington, so I will stay connected.
So you'll stay connected to Istanbul all the time. Okay.
And actually, I will fly on August 30. And a colleague of mine made a reservation for the next day in a Turkish restaurant around the corner on U Street.
So you will eat lahmacun kebab and remember your days in Istanbul.
The mezzes and the raki.
Okay.
No, it will stay part of my life with very good memories and part of it on the bike.
On the bike, I was gonna ask. By the way, you will take your bike to DC, of course, right?
Yeah, not this one. This beautiful one, the Dutch bike constructed in Manisa.
In Manisa, okay.
In Manisa with Axel Bataves, will stay at the consulate. I took my mountain bike with me, and I will also have my road bike there, and I surely will buy a new one. But this
you
one,
have so many bikes, I know.
Yeah, this one is part of the consulate. So,
okay. So the new consul general will probably use that.
Yeah. I hope. I think he will. Yeah, but it depends also if you feel safe enough to use the bike in Istanbul. You have to, as you know, you have to show some courage and you have to be careful all the time.
Let's talk about that. I was going to ask. I mean, let's be honest. Istanbul is not the perfect city for biking in the world.
Not yet.
It's not a bicycle-friendly city. I mean,
not yet.
I cannot talk about Turkey in general because I didn't bike everywhere in Turkey, but I am mainly biking. You know, I'm going to work by bike.
No, but
But Istanbul is not the perfect city, yeah. What do you think? How is your experience?
Cities like Konya, and so they are a bit
Yeah, they say
bit
that
ahead.
Konya is great in terms of biking.
Yeah, a lot of people from Konya originally are living in the Netherlands, so that might be one of the connections. No,
Okay, that
but
explains.
what you see happening in a lot of European cities and other cities around the globe, biking is much safer now than it was 10, 15 years ago. And you know the story. It's the same for the Netherlands. Everybody thinks that biking, that we always lived in a bicycle paradise in the Netherlands. It was not the case in the 70s and the 80s. The city would look like, cities like Amsterdam would look like Istanbul, with a lot of parked cars, few room for the bicycles and the people walking. So it's the investments in the infrastructure and the policy of the city that really makes the difference.
And the mindset will then being shaped.
Yeah, right.
It's being shaped. What do you think? How is the process? I mean, first you develop the infrastructure, and then people change their minds about biking and stuff. I mean, how does that work?
It's the two sides. It's the behavior aspect, but the most important aspect is to create a safe infrastructure. If you want bicycling, making it attractive for people and children who go to school by bike. You know, every kid in the Netherlands bikes to school. People bike to work. I bike to work. So you will find our prime minister biking to work every day. And so it's normal, but it's only because it's safe. And when it's safe, you don't have to be careful. Well, you have to be careful, of course, but that's why nobody wears a helmet in the.
That's why you're not wearing helmet here.
Yeah,
also?
well, I wear my helmet always when I am on the road bike or on the mountain bike. But in principle, if I have a bike like this, I don't wear a helmet. But then that means that I avoid also some roads and some risks. So that is also, especially in a city like Istanbul nowadays, you have to be careful. And you saw it in cities like London in the first years. There were a lot of accidents, but then at a certain moment, you know, with a better infrastructure, it became safer and safer, and more people were using the bikes. And cities like Paris and Milano, you see the change. You see the shift happening, and it will happen in Istanbul. But it means you need consistent policy by the municipality, and yeah, you know, we talk a lot with IBB about it, with Orhan Demir and his colleagues, but also with the municipalities. And
you're also making some suggestions for sure to them, right?
I was on the bike a few weeks ago with the Secretary General of IBB and also the mayor of Kadıköy, the other side, also on a track showing how you can connect bicycle infrastructure with public infrastructure, so with the station area, the metro area, the ferry areas, to make this kind of connections. You know, you yourself take the bike by boat.
I do,
all the time.
But by bus and other, I think, like vehicles, that will be more challenging. I think. I mean, by boat it's okay, it's easy, but I don't know.
But you should.
It needs to be developed, as you said.
Yeah, but I shouldn't advise to invest in taking the bicycle on the metro or on the bus. What you should do is create parking facilities near the stations.
That's what you have in.
So we have you know, our country, 17 million, a bit the same size in population as Istanbul. Every day 1 million people by train, and half of them are going by bike to the station and park their bike by the station. And for example, if they commute, they easily commute to their station. They're on the train for 30 minutes or so, and then in the city like Amsterdam or others, you can find a rental bike available at the station, and you bike to the last 2 or 3 kilometers. So that makes perfect connection.
Encourage people to basically to bike.
Right. So you need this whole kind of infrastructure. It's not only about safe bike lanes, but it is also the whole concept. So you cannot develop a bicycle policy without looking to the whole traffic system in the city and the infrastructure in the city as such. So it's not that easy. And
but I think really Istanbul has a great potential. I mean,
it is. It has. But not in a way that you. I had the same kind of discussion when I was in LA. So people said, yeah, but LA is so much bigger than Amsterdam. But I said, yeah, there's no need to bike from Pasadena to Santa Monica. We don't bike every day from Amsterdam to Rotterdam.
Yeah,
but
of course.
but with the connection of the public transport in between, but on stretches like this where it's very flat, but also with e-bikes coming up, the hills are doable.
Yeah.
And it's also good exercise.
It is.
You know, it's not only about creating a better city. Also for people, you know, I ride my car also.
You drive a car? I cannot believe that. I haven't seen you while driving.
It's much easier to use the car in a Dutch city now than it is 20 years ago. Why? Because there's much more room. Because most of the people don't use the car. But when you need the car, you know, there's a lot of space. And also for. When I was coming over, I saw the troubles with the ambulances coming through, but that's completely gone in our country because of the fact that the majority of the people in the cities are on the bikes. And if you need a car,
at least half of the population, you said, right?
Yeah, in cities like Amsterdam, Utrecht, and Groningen, in the inner cities, it's like 60% of the.
That's a big number.
Of the transportation is doing by.
I think only Copenhagen is ahead of you, right?
No, it's not.
It's not your.
No,
okay,
no.
Sorry, you're the number one. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I think you're competing with them. I mean, with.
No, I'm not competing. No, the number one is Utrecht, Groningen,
okay.
and then you have Copenhagen and Amsterdam are a bit the same size.
Okay,
it depends a bit how you look at the statistics. If it's only the inner cities or the whole.
Yes, true.
But it's a bit the same. We're not competing. No, we work closely together. I like the event that we did in Kadikøy.
Yeah.
I was with my Danish colleague together.
She was also biking. She was also biking here.
We did this whole program together, also this co-design workshop. So no, it's not a matter of competing. It's
a nice way of competing, of course.
Yeah,
when I say competing.
Yeah, like
friendly
in that way. Yeah, on a friendly way.
Yeah, of course.
It's not like competing on the bike races, where actually we had a lot of gold medals. You
want to make a competition now after we finish it?
Yeah. We had a lot of gold medals in Tokyo on the bicycle.
Congratulations.
More than Denmark.
Okay. So I mean, Istanbul has a great potential, definitely, and it can be developed. I think maybe after 10 years it will be much different, much better.
It will.
And as you said, I mean, probably it was. I mean, you said it was dangerous also in Amsterdam maybe 20 years ago. It was not always like this. I mean, people were on the bike all the time. They feel secure 100%, and it was not like the case,
It was not like that. No, absolutely not.
So it happened by the time.
It happened by the time. It happened also via pressure from the public. Also kids, parents. But it happened because of consistent policy and also support in society, and that's also important because if you want to make the first steps, you are competing, really competing also with the car use. You have to make it less attractive to park your car in the cities.
Yeah.
You have to, for example, this coastal road.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it won't make me very popular. I like to ride my car on this coastal road, but it's not sustainable to have this coastal road open for cars in a way like it is. That you can make all the connection via the city by car. You have to develop what you see in other European cities, and the Dutch were the first. You have to create different systems of transportation to avoid cars crossing the inner city.
So you think cars should be forbidden in some areas of the city for sure, like for example Istiklal Street and other streets?
Yeah, sure.
And you have that also, right? In Dutch cities.
Not necessarily forbidden, but to make it less attractive to be everywhere all the time with a car. And because if you have a house somewhere, you want to have your car there as well. So, but you have to find balance, and giving back the streets to the people, to the kids, that they can play around. And I was talking with some people about soccer matches, and you know we played Turkey quite a number of times. I was one of the true Dutch people in the stadium when we lost 42 against Turkey for the first
Okay.
qualifier match. But and that we're talking about why there is so much talented soccer football players in the Netherlands, because they still play on the streets. It's safe to play soccer in the streets, and you want to give back the streets to the people to enjoy on a lively and healthy way.
Sometimes I feel like we build cities for just, for the buildings itself. I mean, we have to build cities for people, for the kids,
absolutely.
as you said.
But there is also a lot of economic value in it, because people want to live and to work in cities which are healthy and in which you feel comfortable and which you can commute easily. It's not without reason that Getir is moving to Amsterdam,
Right.
and I'm very proud that they're there. They started fully green operations with bicycles and e-scooters.
Yeah.
And they will do all their international operations from the Netherlands now. And it's also because of the fact that the Netherlands, Amsterdam, is an attractive place to live and to work. People want to live and to work in cities like Amsterdam because it's good quality. And being on the bike and the whole mobility aspect is an important
So
element.
it creates an economic value, as you said.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, and with few investments actually, because investing in bike infrastructure is relatively cheap.
Much less than, I think, like building roads for,
Bridges.
doing tunnels for cars and stuff. So
If you have a look at the budget also in the Netherlands and you see the economic benefits of the euros invested in bike infrastructure. But now we make also very expensive investments, like creating huge parking facilities for bikes near train stations.
Okay.
So you bike in the cellar and you go up and you're directly at the train. So beautiful examples in.
Well, of course, you have to spend some money,
Amsterdam.
of course.
Yeah, but it's a matter of
But
investment.
It pays back.
It pays back in
many
economic
ways.
terms. Yeah,
and in other like social terms, psychological terms, in so many ways.
Yeah. So one of the supporters, the sponsors of our activity here is Eureka Sicorta, the Dutch insurance company. It's very active here. Why? Because there's an interest for them to have less accidents, but mainly because to having healthier people. People on the bike, walking, swimming, on the move are healthier.
Yeah.
And healthier people are less costly for insurance companies. It's as easy like that. So there is there is economic value in it, and you will find all the big companies and smaller companies in the Netherlands very supportive for people coming to bike to their office, because they are also more productive. If you have your bike ride of 20 minutes in the morning and you are behind your desk, your output is higher. It's as simple as that.
Definitely. That's what I feel every day. I mean, definitely. Biking is
so it's
really
there's
great.
a lot of economic value
True.
in it, and sometimes I think people look to the Netherlands as a sort of this the silly people in a silly country and on the bikes, but we are a big economic player.
Of course we are.
And powerful, and it fits very well together with the Prime Minister on the bike and cities like Amsterdam, which are very inviting for people to work and to come over. That's why, So.
By the way, while talking about prime ministers and official delegations, do you have any funny memories here in Turkey?
In Turkey, on the bike, you mean?
Yeah.
So when I felt a bit more safe on the bicycle, also using this bicycle, I told you I biked together with the mayor of. The first time on the bike was with the former mayor of Beyoğlu.
Okay.
Really nice, from Karaköy to Kabataş. And I biked with the mayor of Beşiktaş with a lot of kids, school kids, and lately with the mayor of Kadıköy and a lot of other people. happy also to work closely with the NGOs and the biking federations. But one of my nicest experiences was that we had this reception with the Wali, with the governor, in Fatih. And I thought, well, I go by bike because it's much faster. So I took this bike, and there were all these black limousines, and I was here with the bike. And so the guards were stopping me and said, well, yeah, I'm the Hollanda Başkonsolosu. And I said, oh, of course, Hollanda. And said, please. And then everybody said, oh, please park your bike just in front of the central opening of the door. So all my other colleagues were looking, and they said, well, you're a lucky one. And when the reception was over, they were all stuck in traffic, and I feel very happy. So
yeah, I think people are really surprised here to see a prime minister or a leader on a bike, because they were expecting in black cars and fancy cars. So when they see someone on the bike, they get really surprised.
Yeah, especially in a costume like that. But good, also my first years in California, well, there was a lot of people biking, but really sportive bikers. But I was one of the first biking like this, and the bike federation said, oh, please continue to do like this, because it should be normal.
Yeah, it should be part of your life, definitely. I mean, it should
be boring normal, as we say.
Yes, boring normal. I like that. Definitely, it should be way of your life.
Yeah.
It's not just for fun, because I realize that now I've been biking for the past 6 months regularly, like every day on a regular daily basis, and I still realize that people think that it's something for the fun. It's something that you do on weekends, on sahils, by seasides. But no, this is a way of commuting for me and for everybody who is biking. So we have to change our mentality, definitely.
Right, and then you find out that also with a bit of rain you can easily bike. Not too much.
Well, I'm not very good at that. I still cannot bike on rainy days.
But here is also the safety. Like this bike roads, they can be slippery. So you have to be careful all the time. But in our country, we bike when it's snowing and when it's
under every circumstances
raining,
you bike.
Circumstances. And again, it should be in a way
definitely
boring
normal.
And when I moved from Amsterdam to The Hague, it was also because I thought, well, I didn't like to be on the train every day, but I want to be on bike, as we say in Dutch, on biking distance from the office. So we selected our house in a way that it is on biking distance. Now I will move to DC. For me, it's important to be on biking distance from the embassy, but also from the city, because I know that it will save a lot of. So it should be. This kind of thing should be in your decisions, but should be also in the decisions of the policymakers.
Of the policymakers, definitely.
On all different levels, also people in business, and creating also the good infrastructure in their offices, not only bike racks, but also the facility to shower, for example.
Yeah. I think the pandemic also created a great interest in biking, and also because I read so many reports and stories about bike sales.
Well, this
increased during the pandemic because people spend more time outside. They prefer being outside with fresh air.
But also
they didn't public transportation.
Yeah, exactly, because they didn't feel safe in public transportation. Yeah. And you saw that in every city. Also in the Netherlands, I never would have thought that even a higher level was possible. But also because of COVID, you saw more people on the bike.
Yeah.
Stats came out that the number of kilometers by bike in the Netherlands last year were a bit lower than others because of the fact that people working from home.
Yeah.
But the bike share in total transportation moved up again. But you saw it in cities like Paris and London and Berlin really booming. But there's a very interesting economic story here as well. That bike industry, like the Axel in Manisa and others. So we won, and I talk a lot with bike producers. There's also a great bike producer of e-bikes here in Turkey, selling in the Netherlands. They have a huge issue because the demand is much higher than they can produce. And one of the main reasons is that the parts that you need, like the braking systems or like the Shimano, so the industry is too much dependent from a few producers.
Yeah,
and
true.
and with the long distance supply lines, it's showed also during COVID that it's quite vulnerable. So it's very difficult to step up the production of bicycles now because of the whole value chain. And that's something that I think in COVID accelerated this way of thinking, which is also very much connected to the transition to the circular economy.
Yeah.
That you should be less dependent from long haul kind of value chains. And that is of tremendous interest also for Turkish-Dutch relations, for the position of Turkey as a great producing country in the European framework.
Right.
So rethinking of that and investing together in that from the European perspective. European, I mean EU, Turkey.
Yes. Yeah.
Is quite important. Because it's a pity now, if you want to buy a new bike in the Netherlands, you have to wait for a year and a half.
Oh, really? You want to say something to Istanbul?
Beautiful
so your
Istanbul.
final words for Istanbul
Istanbul
before you go to DC.
I will leave Istanbul as an Istanbulite.
You became an Istanbulite, right?
And I always will be like that. And
could you please say Istanbul, seni seviyorum, seni özleyeceğim.
Yeah, Istanbul çok seviyorum.
Look at Istanbul, not me.
Istanbul çok seviyorum. İstanbul'da ben çok mutluyum. It's like a good relationship or being married, and if you separate, it's important that you still keep this good relation.
Yeah, and you have good memories.
And I know that I will be separated in a way because I won't live here anymore, and I know it will be different. But I sincerely hope that when I'm back, that I have sort of the same feelings. That
I mean, physical connection is lost maybe at that time, but definitely psychological connection and mental connection stays there.
But the good thing is that a lot of people also from Turkey will come over to DC, including yourself.
We will bike. So next time you're biking on DC.
And in a few weeks we will be biking in DC.
You're biking in DC next time, okay? Promise.
Is it promise?
Okay. Teşekkür ederim. See you next time in DC.
Bye bye.
Evet, Saat Farkı'nı böylece bu hafta da noktalamış olduk. Önümüzdeki hafta bir başka konukla tekrar görüşmek dileğiyle. Hoşça kalın.